Good morning, everybody, or good evening, or good day, wherever you are. It's morning for me, 7:30 in the morning. I think for Ebi, she's awake. Here she is. It's nearly midnight for her in London. So, yeah, we are really global, going global. Good morning, Ebi. How are you?
I'm on screen. Good morning.
You okay?
Yeah. Good
Good.
night for me. Good
Very
evening.
strange, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, yes, how has your peace and wealth been this week? What's been happening?
Loads of things. Oh, where do you want to start? Yeah. I think we've met at least twice, haven't we? Yeah, peace and wealth, really thinking about it, what it means to have peace and wealth, which we said happiness comes from peace. And happiness is wealth. So looking at the material, I know the material is important in the world that we live in, but if we have internal peace, then we're able to work on our external wealth. So,
Yes, I think it's really important to turn 180 degrees inside, because there you'll find all the wealth you could ever wish for. And for me, going inside, going into my inner core, which I know is unique to me, it's the most glorious place to be. It's the only place I want to be, because it's now and here, and I'm breathing beautifully, and my spine is lengthened, and I wouldn't go anywhere else unless I wanted to go out there and bring other people back. It's such a fabulous place to be. And I think we need to remember that, if we look back at our evolution as human beings, 7 million years of evolution, we can see that our ancestors survived, and that's the only reason we're here. I'm often saying this, but I think people forget. And we are the most evolved version of our lineage, and we are here to deal with now and here, and AI and digital revolution and all of that.
All the exciting things coming up.
Yeah. So, how did they survive? What did they go through? And what does that give us, each of us? It's really interesting when you think back to your origin. You may have been born in a certain country, but who knows where you started? And I have found in my life that, I'm in Japan. I've lived in Japan for 20 years, and that's because I know that my ancestors were here. I don't know here, I know in my heart. And I think that's one of the reasons I was attracted to coming here in the first place. I heard this voice saying, yeah, you've got to go to Japan. And it wasn't just, oh yes, just for the experience. It wasn't anything superficial. It was a deep calling, really.
Home.
And yes,
like home.
Yeah.
Home.
Yes. And it's, I'm now realizing that, I think my ancestors, who were Christian missionaries, mostly, priests mostly, interestingly, I think they were here. They were here 300 or 400 years ago, when Japan was under the...
Keep talking, I'll just disappear for a minute.
Oh, okay. Yeah, under the provision of Christianity. Christianity was brought to Japan many hundreds of years ago. But yeah, I know that there's a connection there for me. And so, yeah, if we really listen closely, to our hearts, then we can find many, many things. And that's why I came to Japan, really. So, yes,
It's funny.
everything. Oh,
It's
are you
really
there?
funny. Yeah, I am. It's funny. It's funny how you say that, because I just thought maybe if you're born in a certain region, you feel that, because I always felt, because I feel that here, like in England, and I just feel that it's home. It just calls me. But then I was born here, so I thought maybe that's why. But no, maybe that's not why. Maybe it is that, like, you have that feeling about Japan. Maybe it's the same, because even when I was in Africa and when I was in Greece and when I was in America, I never had the same feeling that I have with here. But I just put it down to the fact that because I was born here, maybe that's why England calls me. But now you're saying it, I'm thinking, yeah, it does. It like really makes sense, and it's like I can't explain it, and I didn't actually know that within until 2020. I had 2019 or 2020, and I was in America. I was living in America at the time, and I had planned to relocate and stay there. And I just had this pull, and I thought, I've got to come home. And it was the first time I had called anywhere home, because I never felt at home anywhere. And even though I had lived in England for over 20 years when I came back at the time, I never still even called it home. But in 2019, 2020, I just felt there was that strong feeling. And anytime I leave now, it's the best way I can describe it is, like when a child is going to school for the first time or doesn't like going to school, I just feel like I'm being torn away from England anytime I'm leaving. It's very emotional for me, and I have like 2 weeks before I'm in anxiety mode.
Oh, really? Gosh.
Yeah, and when I'm coming back, it's kind of like, oh my gosh, I just want to hug.
Wonderful. Well, yeah, clearly that's the place you have to be. I mean, you feel it in your bones, but many people don't. They're driven by their job. Maybe they have to be in a certain place, or they have an allegiance to a certain country or whatever. But if you move around a lot, I've moved around an awful lot in my life, then you feel at home wherever you are. And I've really experienced that in many countries. And I think that's me cueing into all my ancestors who moved around. Of course, we moved around from continent to continent.
We did, didn't we?
Yeah. So, my peace and wealth, well, it's never really to do with the environment. It's to do with me and my heart, really, and my heart energy. And so I can feel at home really anywhere. But I know that Japan is special for me, and I can see that every single day, that this culture is something which has been ingrained in my lineage, in my DNA. I can feel it very strongly. So it's my spiritual home, definitely. Yeah. So I think if we think in a different way about ourselves as human beings, if we really look from all perspectives, from the evolutionary perspective, from the heart perspective, of course, climate is a consideration, and Japan is a very difficult climate for me because it's really so humid and hot in the summer. So I kind of wilt in the summer here. but so what? I can feel that my ancestors did. So I've learned to tolerate it. I'm much better now with the heat than I was when I first came. So, all of those things are important. But I think the most important thing is that we realize we're not just a 21st century person. We are the culmination of a huge lineage, thousands of years of development and evolution. And that gives us a new perspective on life, I think. So I get quite excited when I think about my ancestral line. And of course, here in Japan, we really revere the ancestors. And in fact, it's coming up soon, very soon, in the middle of the year, end of July, beginning of August. It's Obon time. And Obon is when everybody in Japan, everybody goes back to their hometown. And they go back, and I don't think you know this, maybe you do, I don't know, but everybody out there, YouTube and LinkedIn, they go back because they go to welcome their ancestors.
I think, that gives you a lot of peace inside when you're in connection with your ancestors. And maybe that's one of the things should I say forgotten? It's one of the things we don't put any importance to here.
We don't focus on.
Yeah, we don't put any importance to our ancestors. And I think one of the things that will help us to find that internal wealth is our ancestors, because that's part of us. It's part of our DNA, and we just see ourselves in isolation as now. As what we are now, as opposed to we've got all this DNA from thousands of years ago.
Yes, that's right. So I think in Japan it's extraordinary. When I first came here, I couldn't believe that my students, who 19, 20, 21 age, really looked forward to Obon, and they wanted to go back to their hometown. And what people do, it's very, very lovely. They leave food for the ancestors, certain types of food, on the gravestones. So all generations are there at the graveyard. In Japan, or haka, we call it, the graveyard is a really lovely place to be. It's not scary like Christian graveyards often are.
Is it a real graveyard? Is that, are people actually buried there?
Yes, they're bones. They're bones, because in Japan we have cremation. We don't bury people in the earth. We cremate. Everybody.
But after cremation, don't you bury, or how does it work after cremation?
Well, what happens is cremation is an amazing thing. I've been to many, believe it or not, here, because it's a time of celebration, really, And so what the family does is they take a certain amount of bone from the body before it's fully burned, and that bone goes back to the graveyard of their hometown. So you'll see in all the little villages all over Japan, the whole place, you'll see at Obon, families there cleaning the grave, leaving food for the ancestors, burning incense to bring the ancestors. And then for 4 days they're here and the family is together. And then they prepare to send them back to the spiritual world. So I was so amazed that my students, who were, young people and probably rather skeptical about such things, I imagined, they were not skeptical at all. They really believed in it. And I started to ask them, how do you feel about your ancestors? And they said, I'm so glad that they're here with us. They watch over me. They guide me. So even young people in Japan respect the ancestors' presence. And then we started to joke, that watch out, don't be bad in class because your grandmother's there, So, and they're so open and so loving about it. It's fantastic. No,
Mm.
UK students of the same age would absolutely laugh their socks off, I think, but Japanese, no, so honest and sincere about all this. It's lovely.
Mm.
So that's another reason I find Japan so good. The rhythms are always intermingled with ancestors. And
Yeah.
most Japanese homes have either a butsudan. A butsudan is a kind of home altar. I have a butsudan. Or a kami shelf. So
What
that's
does that look like?
that's a kind of shelf, and it's usually high up, and that's the Shinto side. So in Japan we've got Shinto, which is the national religion, and we've got Buddhism, which is the kind of extra, if you like. And so most people every morning give water to the gods on their kami shelf, and they give their first offerings, like if they get a gift of apples or something, they put an apple up there for the gods. Yeah, everybody does that. They remember the ancestors every day. We do. We give them water, we light a candle, we burn incense every day for them. So it's a kind of living proof, really, that we are the best version of our ancestral line, and we've got so much from them. My maternal grandmother used to say to me when I was a child, she would say, "Oh, you are so like my grandmother."
Oh.
People identify that certain physical or qualities, or maybe tendencies or hobbies or something like that,
yeah,
with the previous generations. Yeah, so that's why it's not a fabrication or any kind of ruse. It's the truth. It is the truth that we are the first of this huge line of people. So that gives me incredible peace to know that. And I know that I've inherited so many things from my ancestors, and particularly how to survive, my human spirit. And I'm so glad to talk about this, because, spirit seems to be a dirty word these days, and it's associated
I think it's associated with religion. Maybe that's why.
Yes.
Come out with
and alcohol, of course.
Oh yes, alcohol. Yes, spirits. Yeah, that's true.
That's interesting, isn't it? So I mean, without that incredible desire, I use that word desire, to survive the most awful things. Imagine having a sickness with no medication, being really so sick and not having any doctors who could try to cure you. That kind of thing. We have overcome so much in our history, and from that, I know my spirit is so strong, and it will overcome anything.
Yeah.
And my spirit is my inner wealth, really, because the spirit drives everything. It drives your body. It drives your unlimited mind. It even drives your limited mind. So I think it's really, really important. And this week I've been focusing on speech. We have been focusing on speech.
Yes.
We had a lovely embodiment Q&A yesterday about it, and out of that came visualization. Do you remember? So you had a wonderful trip to the beach.
Yes,
and me too. I was with you. And so visualization is the ability to bring our desires to life. I mentioned that word a moment ago.
And remembering the senses, which is where I was going wrong in the past. So the smell, the taste.
Yeah.
And it was funny because I went to a museum yesterday, and the artist it was like a story of, there were children, and she had a child representing like the smell, the hearing, the taste. So all the senses, so different portraits, she had them in one wall. And it just I kind of thought, and this was she did this in I think it was the 18th century.
Who is that?
18th century. Her name is Michaela. She's from, I think she's from the Netherlands. But was done in the 16th century. And it was done at a time when women were not really allowed. They were only allowed to paint flowers. They were not really allowed to paint people. But she did that. It just reminded me of the visualization that all the time all that has to come into play in terms of the smelling. And when we did the visualization yesterday, you took me into that, and I remember that I had to do like the feeling, because I've been visualizing for years, but I've just been visualizing in terms of pictures as opposed to what I'm feeling, what I'm tasting. I'm thinking, am I having a cup of coffee? Am I having a cup of tea, a biscuit? What does it taste like in my mouth? How does it feel? The smell of the environment, like the sea, the smell of the sea, the air, because it smells different, to really immerse yourself in what you're visualizing. And so it kind of comes to pass. Again, we shouldn't put timing on it, like you said. Just visualize it and it will come to pass at some point.
Absolutely.
You're creating something by doing that.
I mean, it's all to do with desire. I think the problem is that people are always seeking for everything outside, and so those desires become diluted because they become these boring old goals, that are public. They're public things, and there's a certain amount of pride involved. If we don't achieve what we've set as a goal, then
failure. It's not working.
So if you come back to your desires, you connect with something that is really strong and real. And some visualizing techniques, and I do this with people from time to time, is not the present. Sometimes something comes from the past, and we can bring that into the present. And yes, if we visualize in 2D, which I think is what you've been doing, I call it 2D, so it's just pictures and so on, then there's less of a chance that we'll be able to bring to the surface something from our ancestry. So I've had amazing visualizations where some real strange situation has come into my senses, and I think it's from the past, and I think these are echoes of our ancestry and the past, and we can dwell with them, we can stay with them, and it's a wonderful connection, So there are many types of visualization, but the dynamic type that we did is the basis, and then there are other ways as well, other exciting types of visualization. So it's not just a one-off, it's a whole study really. And I wanted to say during our session that the Upanishads, the Vedic scriptures, the ancient Indian scriptures, because India is the oldest civilization that we know of. The Vedic scriptures are, and especially the Upanishads as they're called, are full of wonderful insights into visualization. And one of my favorites is where the scriptures describe human beings as spiders.
Oh.
Spiders who spin a web. Okay, you know, a spider can spin this, throw this web out, create this fabulous architecture with the web, and then crawl out onto it to catch to eat the fly that the web has caught or whatever. So it's an amazing capability to be able to do that. So the Vedic scriptures say, yes, human beings are like spiders. They weave this incredible web with their lives, and then they crawl out onto the web to really enjoy what they've created. We create our lives. It's nothing mysterious. We create our lives. And if you allow yourself to be pulled and pushed by external factors instead of weaving your own web, then you'll never be happy.
Yeah, so the peace, you don't find that peace by doing what you've just described, the internal peace, which is our wealth.
Yes, you find it. Of course, it's inside, but this Vedic idea is that we weave our own lives.
Yeah,
they become this incredible web, and so every morning, as part of my morning routine, which starts with gratitude, and we've talked about this before on Peace and Wealth, if you open your eyes with gratitude every morning, it becomes this incredible foundation for your day. And when I've got that going, then I start to think about the day ahead, I start to weave the web of the day ahead. So the various things I'm going to do and look forward to doing, and all the little cadences, you know, stopping to eat or whatever. And then I crawl out onto that web. And when the day is finished, I crawl back and I go to sleep. So it's a very, very useful.
Sounds like true peace.
Yeah, true peace. It is, because you're making your day, because you are in control from your unlimited mind. You create your day. Now, people say to me, yes, but what if it goes wrong? Well, if it goes wrong, if it doesn't go according to plan, that's an excellent time to learn.
Yes, if it went wrong, it's not going to go wrong. It will go as it's meant to be, I guess.
It will go differently, maybe.
Different, yeah. Because and I think that's the thing. We just focus on that, don't we? Kind of what if it goes wrong? What if it? And again, that's the limited mind, the flight or freeze to protect you, to say you fall. Yeah.
So fearful. People are so fearful because they're not in control. I'm peaceful and wealthy because I'm in control of me. I'm the only person who is in control. Nobody else.
Yeah, you're the only person in control of your life. That is true. Yeah.
But people don't realize
there's external interference, so people might. So there's, but that's part of the learning experience, isn't it? So unexpected things could happen and come in, but it's part of the experience. But I guess if you good with the visualization, usually it goes the way you want it to go. And if it doesn't, you're calm about it and you're able to adjust.
Yeah, that's exactly right. If it doesn't go the way you've spun the web, if the web runs off in a different direction, well, that is telling you something. That's telling you something very strongly, that maybe that wasn't meant to be. So then you come back to your main web, and continue on. So please, everybody out there, you are in control. No one can control your life.
One thing I've learned is, like, sometimes say you want to travel and something happens and you're traveling and you take the wrong turn, and so you're going to be late for the thing you're going to. I've learned that I don't stress about it because you just don't know what was on the other path.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
That's
you
right.
don't know. So I don't really see it as a mistake. It's meant to be. So I'm maybe not meant to be there at 10 o'clock and I'm meant to be there at 10:05. Because if you've done your best, okay, it's a different thing if you're just procrastinating and you're lazy and you just don't get there on time. But if you've left on time, you've done everything right. But something happens and you make a mistake and maybe you take the wrong turning. And so that delays you. You know, I just kind of think you don't know because your unlimited mind has probably directed you to take the other way because maybe there's an obstacle somewhere else. You don't know. So I never fret about it. And so what? If I'm late for 5 minutes, it's not the end of the world. Okay, it might not look good, but it's okay. And then you find out you get there, most people are probably late. They've had maybe, I don't know, and you find out that it's not a big deal.
That's
But
true.
if you're not in that mindset, you're like panicking, you're stressing out, which doesn't help you. You know, if it doesn't help you, then you want that increase in high blood pressure, increase in different things. You know, because sometimes we just worry about things.
Yes. So it's just a question of listening, really. So, like me coming to Japan, you know, this voice was saying, "Yes, you must go to Japan. You must go," and most people would say, "Oh no, you know, I'm too old to move to the other side of the earth, you know, and I've got to sort out you know." Most people would put up lots of objections to that and stay where they were, but I listened to my heart and I packed up and I left, and it was the best thing I've ever done, you know. So I'm always listening to my heart, and most people are listening to their limited mind.
I think that's the thing, and that puts us in misalignment with who we are and our bodies, and we find that conflict within as opposed to the inner peace, which again comes to wealth and happiness.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And I've got a new word to share with everybody today. And I got this from my friend, Dr. Annika Sorensen, who's a Swedish doctor doing very similar work to the work we're doing. But she's working with leaders in the field. And she wrote to me and said, "Lyndon, I want you to, I freely invite you to use my new word." And her word is drag. So what she's saying is, medically, when we are performing, when we're not in control, and instead we do a polished performance, it puts a huge drag on the nervous system.
Okay, good one.
I like this word. Yeah, I use friction. I like the idea of friction. You know, nothing is moving smoothly, but I really like the word drag. It's very onomatopoeic, isn't it? It really sounds like it feels. You know, so if you're performing and you're not in control of your life, or you feel you're not in control of your life, it puts a huge drag on your nervous system, on your physical body. It takes so much energy to resist it, to resist being who you are, to resist being natural.
Yeah, we need to go. We need to go with the flow as opposed to the path of resistance.
Yes. So you know, human beings are really good at throwing up objections, resisting. But if you flow, then it means you're really listening to your life.
I think there's a scientific quote. I can't remember on that. There's some quote somewhere about going with the flow. Maybe it's one of the coaching gurus.
Very inward. Yeah, that's right. It's flow is a good word, but drag is another great word. I think. So, when you feel you're doing something that's not very natural, just come back to your body, and you'll feel the drag maybe in your chest, maybe in your gut, you know, and then you can desist, stop doing this unnatural thing, and then you'll start the flow again. The flow will flow, and you'll be smooth again. Right. Well, unfortunately, we've run out of time, and I can see you're falling asleep. You're looking
No,
sleepy.
I'm not.
No.
I'm not. I had a nap before we started.
Oh, did you?
I'm just imagining, like when you were talking about the drag and the resistance. I'm just in my mind's eye, I'm just like kind of seeing the push and pull, push and pull.
Yeah. Good. Okay, my dear. Well, have a wonderful week ahead. We've got Your Body is Your Business Plan on Wednesday. We've got quite a team of people coming now to that. I think there's 6 people on Wednesday. And that we're going to talk about visualization this week, I decided. So
That's
we'll
That's
link it to trust again.
Very good topic, that one.
Yeah.
Because I think it's a thing that will help people and help us in terms of getting our path clear and getting what we want. By the intention, so the law of attraction, to get the law of attraction to work for us.
Absolutely. And so many of our members are psychologists. And, psychologists really believe in things like Clifton strengths, goals, objective goals, and so on. So I think it's an opportunity to talk about that because if the intentions are internal, if the desires are real inside, then we don't have to go anywhere for goal setting. It's all here, and it's all therefore congruent with our behavior. So I'm having a struggle convincing psychologists about this. So I look forward to you supporting me.
That is very powerful. Very strong.
Anyway. So please back me up on that, and we'll see what the others say. So yes, it's an exciting week ahead, and I wish everybody out there, and especially you, Ebi, inner peace and wealth, masses of it. And I hope you have a really happy week. Do you want to leave any final message for our lovely audiences?
I don't think anything can beat what you've just said. I'll leave with you the inner peace and wealth for the week. I don't think it can beat that.
Great. We'll hold that thought for everybody, and we'll see you next weekend with Marleen. So Marleen Greenleaf will be here. Today we were supposed to talk about companies, but we didn't because we got really interested in ancestors. But that's okay, because it all will work in company structures too, because it's the self. So if we work on the self, then all of our company teams and so on will be so much more balanced. Okay, my dear, I'll let you go and have a lovely sleep. I'm going to start my day now, and I'll see you on Wednesday, or I'll see you on Tuesday.
Okay.
Lots of love.
Bye, everybody. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.